see, do I have everything set up properly? It looks like I do. Okay. I might have to resize the window. 3, 2, 1, go. Yep. Hello, hello everyone, and welcome to everyone's favorite Tuesday, or my favorite Tuesday, Taimanin Tuesday. Unfortunately, Action Taimanin is still getting screwed over by the update schedule. They can't update because Apple is being mean about it. So, we're going to be doing archive events. I wish I could play my Cordelia and level her up, but unfortunately that will not be the case today, and will not be the case for next week, apparently. Actually, I'm hoping that they have like they have it like chambered already and ready to shoot it the moment the update goes through, or they say the update's okay. Anyways, we're going to be starting with the True Demon Island Tale of Hell Knights, and I'm going to try to build a lore accurate team or canon team. I'm not sure who the third character would be. I mean, I guess I could put Obero because she's like, well, I mean, I'll put Felicia. Alright, let's do it. Lore accurate team. White sand, beach, blue sky, and clear waters, and lively voices of tourists. As Francis, oh, it's Francis, okay. As Francis took a step into the famous resort in the UFS, she was excited by the fever. So this is the beach of the human world. Francis stretched and yelled, taking a whiff of the beach. It was a little salty, but that got her rather excited since it made her feel like she was at the beach. Isn't she at the beach already? The weather's perfect. Lots of stores to go to. Let's see which one should I start with. She was wearing an excessively revealing outfit, but she didn't seem to want to go swimming. Yeah, she doesn't wear shorts. She's just basically like walking around in a bikini. And thigh highs. Her eyes were fixed on the house by the sea, the stores that lined the beach. Especially the taverns, or bars. Liquor from the UFS. I feel like trying new things since I've been drinking Japanese ones only. Frances loved to drink, so much so that she had come to the human world as she was kicked out of her hometown for drinking all the alcohol back there. That's impressive. And because you need to pay money to drink in the human world, she even became the head of mafia just to earn money to drink. Thanks to her beauty and skill, she gained plenty of support from the other mafia groups, and her organization grew to a considerable size. Of course, now that her organization is so big, she doesn't have to worry about paying for alcohol. If it's the UFS, then whiskey? Which one should I try first? Beer seems to be the best if it's from Japan. Talking to herself, she suddenly recalled why she came here. A few days ago, a vacation? Yes, you haven't been getting proper rest lately, have you? Things have settled down, and I think it's a good time for you to go on a vacation. No, you see, you don't have to treat me like I'm a human. I'm confident in my stamina. But in fact, Frances hasn't been getting much of a break lately, because she's been dealing with her organization expanding and the conflicts that came with it. Moreover, she felt guilty to be the only ones resting while her subordinates were hard at work, and because she was proud of being an Oni who was much more resilient than a human, she had been dealing with the conflicts non-stop for the past few months. We know, but if the boss doesn't take a break, how can we? I see some workaholics among the recruits. What? All they think about is work because all they've been working their all they think about is work because all they've been working their whole lives. At this rate, they will all be sick physically and mentally. This is a bit awkward. So if we show them that even the boss goes on vacation and takes a break from all the work, they'll also follow suit. After some conversations like that, Frances went on a vacation to a resort prepared by her subordinates. Humans have it rough. I can't believe they get worn out after just a few months of work. As the 2 horns on her forehead show, she is an Oni. Her stamina is incomparable to that of any human, and so is her strength. Which is the exact reason her subordinates raised money for her to go on vacation. And the thing about some recruits becoming workaholics was a lie. Well, it's been a while since I went on vacation. I think I can lay back and enjoy some drinks. Alright, first let's drink all the liquor on this street. It was just as Frances, brimming with confidence, was about to enter the bar in front of her. Wait, lady, you alone? Huh? Did I lower my guard too much? I've been surrounded without even realizing it. By the time Frances noticed, she was surrounded by some men. She wasn't focusing as she was recalling how she had got there. What do you want? However, instead of being cautious, Frances greeted them with a cheerful laugh that seemed to accept the situation. Oh. So he was like, what do you want? That's kind of, aggressive. But she gave off a feeling that she was on alert and hostile, ready to fight, so to speak. She looked as if she was saying, you want a piece of me? Probably because she is Mafia who had been fighting up until recently. What? What is this? What's with the mad hostility? What's the matter, lady? Huh? Nothing. I didn't do anything. It's just that it's scary as a lady when you're surrounded all of a sudden. Ah, my bad. The men made an opening at one part of the circle, although it looked as if they would attack if she tried to run. What a bunch of amateurs. The men were full of openings that didn't seem like they had learned any sort of martial arts or combat skills. They all looked clumsy and there was no sense of killing intent. It also felt like they were opening up a path to show that they were not going to harm her, although they wanted to hit on her, but they didn't want to get involved in anything troublesome. Seeing that you were looking at the sea or the stores, we didn't think you had a special place to go, so we thought maybe we could introduce you to some places. I'm not interested in hooking up with guys. It's not that I don't have men around me, said Frances, smiling casually and yet somehow seductively. At the smile that any ordinary man, even the Japanese mafia, would be disarmed by, the ladies' men were completely captivated by it. You don't say, but we know some quiet places to eat or stores with the rarest liquor. However, the men didn't back off for just a smile. They would just keep pushing her unless they hear an absolute refusal. They first told her a list of things that a tourist would be interested in, and Frances took the bait easily. Rare liquor? For real? Sure it is. This one here is the son of a pub that not only has UFS drinks, but also Japanese ones, right lad? It does. Why don't you come by to my pub? I can give you a reasonable price. But I get quite picky when it comes to drinks. Making people like this speechless is the fun part of this job. Drinks. These casual words from the men perfectly drew Frances' attention. Frances fell for it so easily that even the men were surprised. Frances, who was that much in love with drinking, let them guide her to the bar with her guard down because they seemed like such amateurs. Thanks for coming all the way here. I'm your guide, Lydia Beretta. Then Lydia saluted 2 people who just arrived at the resort. The 2 people in front of Lydia were... So this is a resort of the UFS. I don't like this lively atmosphere. Please enjoy, Miss Ingrid. It was Ingrid who was looking around pretending to ignore Lydia's greetings, and Lena who was excessively conscious of Ingrid. The 2 got out of the car that took them here from the airport and looked at Lydia a few moments later. Hell night, Ingrid. I'm Lena. You must be our guide, so you're Taimanin of the UFS. A student, Taimanin to be exact. Lydia Beretta, a half-blood, whose father is European and whose mother is Gosha's Taimanin, a magnet artist who freely uses magnetic fields. Ingrid calmly spoke the information she gathered in advance. UFS and Nomad, since they are fundamentally hostile to each other, Ingrid is trying to get the upper hand in this by bragging about Nomad's information gathering skills. In fact, Lydia was a little terrified that the woman who completely ignored her greeting casually recited her personal information. Wow, you really are the Hell Knight of Nomad. Never mind, I do not intend to be hostile this time. As Ingrid said, Ingrid and Lena didn't come here to go against the UFS. Of course, it wasn't for a vacation either. Investigating a series of different disappearances, the fact the UFS hasn't captured the suspect alone is surprising, but it's quite odd that they asked for help from Nomad, because Nomad invested a hefty amount of money in this resort. No matter what happens here, Nomad can't overlook it, that's all. Contrary to what she said, Ingrid seemed to understand well about the UFS's current situation. As Ingrid looked at Lydia, she just made a fake smile. As she said, I was going to request this to Ghosh's task force, with which I made a relationship through the incident last time, but I didn't know they would attempt to assassinate a UFS congressman. I don't think the task force is involved with this, but it would only put me in a difficult position if I argue. Lydia trusts the task force is innocent and wants to catch a real criminal. And part of the reason she asked for help from Nomad is that the relationship between UFS and the task force has become complicated. Although UFS looks incompetent at this rate. Phew, I received the data of the incident. Did you also check it, Lena? Yes, ma'am. So what does the UFS think about this incident? I want to hear from a field agent. Ah, yes. So, first of all, the details of this incident go like this. 1 or 2 of the tourists haven't returned from the hotel. People who came with their families or their other half suddenly lost contact. Oh, sorry about that. Over 30 people during the last couple months. A person has gone missing every other day if you do the math. I need a drink. The problem is, this place is developed with Nomad's financial aid. What does that mean? In other words, people suspect a Nomad research lab is abducting people for their experiment. Eek, we don't do that, do we? Ingrid shrugged her shoulders in response. No matter what people think, it's true that Nomad's image is not that good among humans. She's right, I wanted to avoid seeking help from Nomad, which is in the center of the rumor as much as I could, but the higher-ups owed Nomad, and UFS is currently not seeing the task force as friendlies. Lydia slumps her shoulder, thinking that the timing was too bad. I should probably start asking people around, but can I ask you one last thing? Sure. Why do we have to wear swimsuits? True. Ingrid looked down at her outfit and spoke in a trembling voice. Perhaps she was trying not to be conscious about it. Her voice was a little cute. It looks good on you, Miss Ingrid. You don't care about it? It's an assignment. I have no other choice if I'm assigned to this. You really are serious when it comes to missions. At Lena's innocent reply, Ingrid even thought that maybe she should teach Lena to have doubts even if it was a mission. Here's a story on the last mission. Upon hearing their conversation, Lydia started to explain with a bitter facial expression. The story goes back to when she was on patrol duty on a resort called the Demon Island, looking out for illegal food trucks or restaurants. She needed the task force help because too many shopkeepers confronted her. However, later on we received complaints that the tourists felt uneasy seeing guards dressed in black and carrying weapons around the resort. Those are probably evil shopkeepers who got caught harassing you. I know, but the higher-ups took their complaints seriously, so they ordered us to at least wear swimsuits. Lydia's voice was trembling at the end, probably because she was furious and embarrassed. Not only her face, but her ears also turned red since she remembered that she was also wearing a swimsuit. It's a nice swimsuit though. Well, clearly it's reasonable to wear an outfit that can blend in with others when you're on patrol or ask around to people. Ingrid comforted her. But Miss Ingrid, you pulled that off so perfectly. Your style matches this beachside atmosphere. Is that so? Lena was trying to comfort her, but as the night, Ingrid was feeling weird. After roughly exchanging information, Ingrid sighed at Lena's words. Ah, right. Come to think of it, I got the contact information of an informant from the task. I mean, from a source. A source? I don't think it's a good idea to bring the task force's name since Nomad is against them. Lydia controlled a communication device, then a drone came out of nowhere. Judging from how fast it came, it was clear that it was prepared in advance. Yes, I've heard so much about you. I'm Furfur, who makes a living by selling information in Amahara. Amahara's informant. Yes, how have you been, Miss Ingrid? Amahara's Furfur. Upon hearing Furfur's self-introduction, Ingrid frowned, having her arms folded. She thinks she has heard the name, but isn't sure where she heard the name. What's the matter, Miss Ingrid? Oh, I'm afraid you are not in a good relationship, perhaps. No, I don't have any relationship with Miss Ingrid. Is she the informant who serves information to Nomad in which I am not involved? But she couldn't figure out the answer, so she decided to think about it later. Only she was still frowning, probably because the thought kept her irritating her. Lena, who had no clue what to do, and Lydia, who introduced Furfur, looked troubled as the most powerful one here looked dissatisfied. So, what happened? There was a series of disappearances, am I right? Yes, I sent the information we gathered. Did you find anything from it? No, these are only fragments of information, and I can't figure out anything, not even a little bit. Which is why I need to accompany you. I can't know the details just from information received from others. I even prepared a drone for this. Furfur was smiling kindly over the communication device, and Ingrid was still frowning, looking at Furfur. Anyway, Lydia held her head frustrated, thinking all four of them would be on the mission. I hope Furfur doesn't have trouble with Nomad. But in fact, Nomad wants Furfur to be dead. However, since Ingrid was on a different team, she didn't have such information, which is why she was miraculously calm. Let's focus on the patrol first. I think we better have something to eat on our hands, not to look suspicious, don't we? Sorry, I think I read that wrong. Let's focus on the patrol first. I think we better have something to eat on our hands, not to look suspicious, don't we? That's a little bit awkward. Then Lena ran to the nearest store. If she had ears and the tail of a puppy, she might have wagged them to the point where they might fall off. Lena was enjoying the vacation that much, except it wasn't a vacation. My, she's so excited. Ah, haha. Lydia laughed forcefully, being unable to defend Lena. But as much as I see less tourists than I have heard, is it because of the incident? Although the number is fairly small compared to the total tourists, so the possibility may be low, but the fact there is a possibility makes them. People care about their safety. Besides, the rumors became ghost stories like they were abducted by Nomad. They do human subject research where the missing people are eaten by demons. If they were true, this would have been a bigger problem. Hence their rumors. Lots of people love unrealistic stories like those. Typo here. As Furfur chuckled over the communication device, Ingrid snorted as she felt uncomfortable making Nomad look like a joke. But because of that attitude, none of the people wanted to hit on her, which put her effort into wearing a swimsuit in vain, resulting in her feeling more dissatisfied. But... was that Lydia? Oh, Ingrid. But, I'm back, Miss Ingrid, and these guys will give us a tour. When Lena came back, she wasn't alone. Wow, Lena-chan is pretty, but these two are amazing. One is tan skin, the other looks so cool. Oh, I love it when a woman looks so bossy. I guess we won the lottery. Oh, so no one wants to care about me. either because she was ignored because she was over the live footage of a drone, or because she couldn't even imagine Lena would bring guys. Furfur was observing the situation with a bitter smile, although she was enjoying it in her mind. Lena? Yes, Miss Ingrid. These guys are obviously trying to get a score. What? But they know so much about rumors here. That's just because all the people here know the rumors. The information they know must be simple and shallow, things that you can easily know if you spend a little time to ask around. Bang. Did she just say bang? I've never seen someone actually say bang. It's a bad habit to just take the bait in front of you without doing a thorough investigation, Lena. Understood, ma'am. Hey, don't underestimate us. You know what? We know a good place that has nice drinks. How does that sound? We're not interested. You can go now. Huh? Lena, who was frustrated upon realizing they were just flirting, tried to shake them off as fast because part of this was her fault. Or rather, she understood that they were less useful than pebbles on the street and tried to make them go away as if she was shooting a wild dog. Even the ladies' men were furious at it, which made their facial expressions violent. I don't understand what you're talking about. But don't get overboard. A pretty face is all you got, old woman. What? Lena's not that old. Is she? I'm pretty sure Lena's like 18 or something. With that attitude, no one's going to approach you even if you are pretty and have some style. It's our courtesy to talk to you, but you give that attitude in return? How old do you think you are? You should be thankful that young men talk to you. I think I should kill them. Wait, 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 wait. We should keep a low profile. Remember, calm down. At least don't kill them, or I have to write a report again. Alright, I'll use only 90% of my power. You do know how to adjust your power. Lena, we're on a mission. Failing the mission is unacceptable. But those imbeciles disrespected you, Miss Ingrid. So it was Lena Chan, but it was Lena Chan who brought them, wasn't it? So I have to clean up this mess. Lena, go easy on them. Understood. What are you guys whispering about? You're not gonna get away with this. It's lucky for you guys, Miss Ingrid is kind to you. 90% of my power will kill you before you can go to a hospital. I'll use only 70% of my power. Can't imagine there's too many enemies. They'll just get murked. The moment the boss spawns in, I could just probably use Ingrid. Yep. Just use support, instantly kill everything. Yeah. Lena reversed the Sakura Blossom and knocked the men down with the Mune of the blade? Moon? Is that a word? The Mune is the unsharpened back edge or spine of a Japanese sword, running opposite the cutting edge. Ah, okay, alright, I did not know that. Her attacks were kind, as if her anger had settled down while fighting, although the attacks are still quite painful enough to knock the men down with one hit. I didn't know you would be so strong like this. Shut up, enough talking. Lena hit the last person especially hard and put her sword back on the sheath, not in the sheath. Keek? The ladies' men's reinforcements scattered like spiderlings, and before long, the place where Ingrid and others became silent again. Although they drew the attention of the other tourists as they commenced the battle in the middle of the day, in the middle of the street. I guess we'll have more problems here. Still, I'll keep in mind that knocking them down and knocking them out efficiently is extraordinary, to be honest. Oh my, quite positive. Lady checks the ladies' men that she had effortlessly and effectively knocked out. It just got scratched, no fractures or cuts. She was quite gentle with them, or perhaps you could say, efficient. You're Ingrid's apprentice? Subordinate? Alright, you're good. She's the one who caused the problem, so she handled it herself. If she didn't do this much, she would have been removed from this mission. Sniffles. Lena remains tight-lipped as she is the one who brought them. Ingrid was deliberate in what she said because she knew about it. Hat! Ingrid lifts one of the men and wakes him up. My bad. Realizing that they completely lost even after gathering so many men, he helps his still unconscious leader up and drags him along, fleeing the scene as fast as he can. Now then, shall we start collecting data now? A bit disappointing if though. Yes, it seems that only tourists are going missing. They could have been abducting people while trying to hook up. What happened right here was just a hookup. Sorry? If that was a strategy, he would have been more formidable foe. More formidable foe than this. After all, the targets were tourists, whom they would not know the skills of. Even if they were taken to a hideout, if they resist, wouldn't it be dangerous for them if they don't have the strength to suppress them? Eh? And the reason you were taken aback for bringing them was because... I was taken aback because you brought them. Lena drops her shoulders at Ingrid's words. Oh my? Ignore Lena's sulking, it wasn't an impossible theory that the suspect was abducting his victims to hook up with. As we were discussing this issue, Furfur's drone went in a different direction to Ingrid and the others. What's the matter? The ones that ran off, they're coming back. Oh, they still want to fight? No, they look panicky. They look like they're being chased. Let's see. Oh, I have the wrong outfit for Francis. Being chased? As the lady squinted, she could see the lady's who ran away just before and the tourists were running towards them, looking behind. This spread throughout the beach, and soon after, Ingrid and the others began to hear screams everywhere. It seems like this is serious. Ingrid says and unsheathes her favorite sword. Lena does the same and gets ready. Wait, what's happened now? Monster, the screaming monster, maybe something showed up? As Furfur debriefs from her drone, the ladies' men from earlier came running towards Ingrid's group, out of breath. Run! Monster! Monster at a clean beach like this? Not the beach, on land. No matter how strong you guys are, that thing's way too powerful. Run. The men scream and run, leaving the others behind. That's the one thing I can't stand. This is not the time to say that kind of stuff. Speechless at Furfur's unserious attitude, Lydia prepares to fight. From far away, she could see a few tourists panicking on the floor. First of all, guarding the beach is part of my job. Right now, I have to go help. Ah yes, you should do that. Leave that thing to us. That thing? The thing already came into view of Ingrid and Lena. The thing they called a monster. Dozens of beasts were attacking people who didn't manage to escape. Disappearing tourists and sudden appearance of beasts, it looks highly unlikely these are unrelated incidents. Yeah. Maybe we should take the beasts down first and then investigate. Yes, Lydia, protect the tourists that didn't manage to escape first. Yes, but can you two handle it? We'll be fine, this is my job anyways. I forgot Francis was involved in this. Sorry. Sorry about that. She's got a very deep voice. This is the last one. Once Lena had taken care of the last beast, the beach found its peace again. No, I'm sorry. There were only a few injuries. They were all just from falling over. Thank goodness. Thank goodness you don't have to write a letter of apology. Yes, yes. The beast suddenly appeared intact, injuring tourists with a letter of apology. What are you talking about? Why were beasts at the beach? I have no clue. Maybe the tourists who disappeared were eaten by the beasts? That won't be the case. If it was, there would be remains. It wouldn't have just been concluded as missing. Ingrid then investigates the beast's corpses. She was looking for any traces, for anything. Those beasts don't live in the wild and are probably man-made, right? Yes. Then does that mean someone deliberately set them loose here? Perhaps they escaped a facility that's nearby. Then Furfur's drone flew up to follow the tracks of the beast. They were likely being bred until recently. Not getting any new information, Ingrid stood up. Its stomach is empty. The report said that there were no traces of blood at the scene where the tourists disappeared. That proves that the beast did not eat any humans. At least, it means the beasts are not the cause of the disappearances. There's someone else. But why reveal themselves now? I don't know. Maybe there's no need for them to be in hiding now, or something unexpected occurred. There's a suspicious cave entrance here. Follow me. During their discussion, Furfur's drone returned. As they followed the drone, they were introduced to a terrain with protruding rocks, too dangerous to walk around in beach sandals. There's nothing here. It is hidden with an optical camouflage. As Furfur's drone emitted a special light, the hidden cave entrance was revealed. It was wide enough to fit a few people through. How was this hidden? When was this made? We never got information about this. Then, because they were doing it in secret. That's because they were doing it in secret, so of course there was no report about this. Who and what the hell did they do? This is under UFS and Nomad jurisdiction. Are they trying to make them fight each other? Lydia storms into the cave entrance. While she did, she remained wary of her surroundings. A holographic camouflage. Well-prepared facility, I might say. Ingrid follows, and as she does, the walls of the cave disappear, and what is revealed next is a mechanic pathway. A somewhat common sight in Nomad's labs, but on the flip side, one could say it's a research facility on par with Nomad in terms of scale. Ingrid smirks at the fact that a facility of this size has remained hidden. Now what? Now what were they making here? Normal beasts or something else? Did they release the beast to test their result, or did they break free after an accident during the experiment? Whatever the case, you'd best be on your guard. I know, whatever pops out, I'll protect you, Lady Ingrid. I see, Lena. Ingrid acknowledges Lena's skill, so she walks into the research lab. Again. As Ingrid and Gillis ventured deeper into the facility, they all came into an area where there were a pile of beast corpses all over the floor. Not only were they the same type of beasts that they had fought outside, but there were also ones with tentacles or warts growing on their bodies. It was easy to see that many different types of animals were being tested in this facility. Looking around, there were flickering red lights and empty incubator tanks that had shattered. What were they doing here? I wonder. I wasn't contacted, so I doubt it's Nomad. However, Ingrid is here as part of her duties for Nomad, therefore keeping information about their facility hidden from her would be a disadvantage to the entire Nomad organization. Because everyone would expect Ingrid to destroy a facility like this upon discovering it. Are you saying this could be a non-Nomad facility? As far as I know, I don't know this place, and I've never heard of it. Me neither. Looks like there's a secret organization operating a facility this size apart from Nomad. Recording the damaged equipment with her drone, Furfur comments on the high-level technology, but then... Someone's coming. Ingrid shouts, looking at the doors that are still closed, but nothing happened yet. Seconds later, the door opened as she predicted, and someone entered the room. Something, to be precise. A cyber soldier. How did you even know even before it came in? I could sense it through vibrations as long as they were walking. No, not usually. I had no idea. This is kind of weird response. I think this is a bad translation. I'd have to check the original Japanese text. Shocked at Ingrid's sensitivity to such things, Lena fixes her grip on her sword. The cyber soldier saw Ingrid and the others as intruders and were going to attack them, but for some reason they only reach for their weapons with awkward movements. Their movements are very stiff. It's as if they were hesitant because they did not know how to move. Alright, first move. Wait. Lena was about to show who's boss, but Lydia stopped her. She took out her mobile device and began searching. We're not gonna kill them. No, they're moving abnormally. They want to attack, but they can't. Ingrid realized the cyber soldier's actions and intentions didn't match. As a robot, this is not possible. I'm surprised you noticed. Furfur said through a hologram. You're quite perceptive. What are you talking about? Lydia will explain. Ingrid sighed at Furfur's words. Lena, unaware of what was going on, looked back and forth at Ingrid and the cyborg soldier. This is horrible. I don't even want to explain these things to her. Me neither, so you're gonna have to do it instead. Lady drops her shoulders in disappointment and gives her mobile device to Ingrid. The cyber soldiers were not on alert. They seemed to think that it wasn't alarming enough for them to react. Isn't this the list of missing people? There's no point in looking at this list. They aren't even here. Look closely. The first person has a burn mark on their right arm. The second one has a mole around their eye, right? Lena listened carefully, remembering the details. She turned her attention to the cyber soldiers still gathering outside the room. Her eyes widened as she found each of the characteristics among the soldiers. Not just 2 or 3, but more. At least 10 of them had the same features mentioned in the list of missing people. Then, this is the facility that made those missing people into cyborgs. Ingrid said in a cold voice and pointed her sword at them. There was no pity. It was merely a small act of kindness to silence them as quickly as possible to end their pain, even if just for a second. Lydia, what do you want to do? To be honest, I doubt we can do anything to turn them back. I know, but I don't think it's the right thing to just kill them. Right, then incapacitate them. Will that do? Yes, that. Can that be done? Of course, Lena. Our objective is to incapacitate. Do not kill them. Yes. Lady Ingrid doesn't like this. I feel bad for the culprit. Lena then pulls out her favorite sword. Yeah, some of the cyberization in Taimanin is pretty wild. There we go, now they won't be able to move at all. At her feet, there were dozens of cyber soldiers lying on the floor with their limbs bound. All of them had the joints properly restrained in a way that even the tremendous strength of Cyborg couldn't overcome. At this point, escaping from the restraints would be impossible for anyone who was in a skilled Taimanin. Let's see, all entrances are locked, hacking isn't my expertise. After the battle, they found a blueprint of the facility while searching the room. They were reading it and trying to unlock all the doors. You're good at fighting, but you suck at handling machinery, I see. Leave professional stuff like this to the professionals. Isn't the ability to handle any situation the minimum requirement for a top agent? Let's stop messing around. Could you remove the bottom cover of the support drone? There's a USB dongle there. Plug it in. You're gonna help? Yes, I thought it might come in handy to have the UFS or Nomad owe me. To Furfur, who is actually being threatened by Nomad, to make Ingrid owe her is worth more than her commission fee. Lydia accepts the offer and enters the USB into the device. I see. This is a no-brainer. Furfur quietly mumbles, and then 10 seconds later, I got them to open. You'll be able to access all the rooms now. One more thing. The main computer here has been hacked. I have a feeling the security of this place sucks. Really? Yes, it seems that this place was disguised as a beach house to attract customers and use them as test subjects. I knew it. That's risky, doing that in a tourist resort. They were doing this in a safer way before. Furfur stopped talking. The video from the hologram was looking at Ingrid. It doesn't matter, since Lydia needs to know about this, and she also has to work with you in the future. It's a warrior-like of you. Not that I think not hiding anything always leads to being trusted. What are you talking about? These so-called abductions were paid by Nomad to be used as test subjects. Since that became difficult, they seem to have resulted in abducting people themselves. As Furfur explained further, Lydia exploded and flailed her fist at Ingrid, but Lena reacted faster than that and parried them all, without her sword. This is because of Nomad? Yes, this is a tragic result of Nomad backing out of the atrocious acts of human trafficking. Then, are you saying that Nomad should have continued trafficking humans? Not exactly. I understand your rage. Once this mission is over, you have my permission to hit me all you want. Lady Ingrid? But right now, rescuing the victims comes first. If this is where the disappearances all started, there are bound to be people who are still in one piece. What? They failed. Them abducting too many people in such a short span of time proves they are relatively inexperienced at this. Yes, doing this type of stuff will spark the attention no matter what. It's not something to be doing in the long run, but preparing such a large facility to do this is so sloppy. Meaning that these corporates don't have the tech or experience. They're noobs out of all the noobs. Oh, is that why the securities bypassed so easily as well? They were basically using equipment that could easily be bought. Furfur muttered as if they were idiots, and then again the sound of clanking, tinkering machinery came from beyond the hologram. Do you have any other information, like why they released the beast on the beach if they had been hidden perfectly? Thank you for the raid, Phoenix. Hello, hello. How is DBD, that miserable game only surpassed by League of Legends? Yes, looking into it, here we go. This is an Oni abducting this more. Abducting? When Furfur said that much, the wall behind Lydia literally blew away. After an explosion as if directly hit by a cannon or even a missile. Oh, why, here she is. There stood a blonde Oni. Night Shiva. Oh, it switches on to one character. Okay. Where is the exit? The blonde Oni, not realizing Ingrid and the others, yelled and held her fist against the wall on the other side of the room. Francis? Huh? She froze on the spot. Lena, what are you doing here? Were you tricked into getting caught too? Tricked? Oh. Lena remembered the ladies' men who tricked her up at the surface, realizing Francis had been tricked and was taken underground. No, it can't be. I was investigating a series of disappearances. Lena, would not be foolish enough to fall for this obvious trap. She would have fallen for without us. Interesting one she is. More importantly, do you know her? Oh yes, this is Francis, a heavy drinking Oni who comes to the bar in Yomihara every night to drink. I remember her because she's been making trouble every time I'm on patrol. Francis is really tall compared to Lena. So what's an alcoholic like you doing outside of Yomihara, even getting yourself involved in the disappearances? I'm on vacation, as for why I'm here. Yes, it was this morning. 1 second. Why'd this stop? Oh, I leveled up, that's why I had so much. Okay. I went on vacation because my subordinates told me to, and I was going to drink the entire booze in this town. That's some awkward English. Yep, that's not normal. Don't drink when you're on vacation. Go sightseeing or something. Yeah, whatever. For me, drinking is resting. Anyway, I was going to try some alcohol, and not sold in Yomihara, and went around the bars when some guys hit on me. Don't tell me you went after him. I did. Well, to be fair, he told me his family was running a bar and had tons of exotic drinks from the UFS or Chinese Union. Japanese drinks aren't bad, but the spicy Chinese Union alcohol and smooth UFS alcohol, everyone would love to try them, no? Still, nobody drinks in the morning. That's bad for your health. You know what they say, a drink a day keeps the cold away. There's an appropriate amount too. Never mind. So I drank in the bar and he introduced me to heavily. When I finally got a hold of myself, the other guys were all passed out drunk. Like a dozen of them. I drank with all of them. So by the time I realized the price was like hundreds of thousands of cash, it was terrifying. Your liver is terrifying. How can it still be functioning? It's quite normal for an Oni. Anyway, here I was on vacation, and within 2 hours my money had run out. So I said to the shopkeeper, I'll wash your dishes or hold your signboard, just let me pay for you physically. There's no pride whatsoever. Signboard, huh? You have some guts. I had no money, and I didn't want to be chased around because I didn't pay, just like in Yomihara. So the shopkeeper gave me a glass of water while I was freaking out. And? I opened my eyes, tied up to a strange bed. You missed out the most important part. Lena collapsed on her knees after patiently listening to Francis. After that, Furfur manipulated her drone to get inside the room connected to the broken wall. Wow, all the surgical tools are messed up. You Onis are tough. When I broke loose from the ties, a bunch of cyborgs leaped out. It was just one of those evil base of operation stuff, so I smashed and crushed them again and again. That explains the wreckage. That was no joke. Continuing on with the reminisce. I guess I'm supposed to play Francis here. Evil Flame is so fast. Oh, Evil Flame's a cooldown. How's the cooldown so high? 13-second cooldown. What the heck? Was it always that long? I think Ingrid needs a buff. They kept coming wave after wave. In this case, normally one goes for the head, so I took down the strongest looking one in one blow. Bam! Just like that. Francis waved her bat lightly. It was much larger, thicker, and larger than a normal baseball bat. Her strength was remarkable. Then, after that, the little ones ran away. That was when I was stuck here. I see, so the beast that was rampaging on the ground, making a programmed beast to go berserk with fear. I waited, but no one came, so I got bored and busted out. She pointed towards the giant hole in the wall after saying that. Still a mess. Anyways, where are we? You're curious about that now? Miss, this is under your current vacation spot. I guess you've been drugged by that barkeeper. Huh? Oh, you can call me Francis. Don't call me Miss. Right, you can call me Ingrid. This is Lydia and the drone, Furfur. So about that barkeeper who abducted you. I'm going to look for him, but I don't know where he is. During the conversation, Furfur manipulated a device to get the map of the facility. According to this map, there's only one entrance, the one we came in from. He couldn't have missed us, and we should have spotted him even with all this mayhem. Does that mean he's still inside? Probably not. There should be a secret entrance that even the map doesn't show. With Ingrid being so confident, Furfur asked back with confusion. How can you be so sure? According to the story earlier, Francis was drinking someplace away from the beach, in a bar not around the vacation spot, yes? Yeah? We entered through a cave on the beach. Would they really move Francis all the way here? It's difficult and it's far. Most of all, it's in plain sight. If I was a culprit, I wouldn't risk it. Which means that there's a tunnel that leads from the bar to the facility, and it's not on the map? Correct. I, for one, think that maybe the facility and all the related bars are connected. I want to estimate a large organization. For that, we can't go through all the rooms in the facility, too. It can't be helped. It can be dangerous, but we should split up and... Excuse me. As Ingrid was about to give instructions, Furfur interfered. You people will remember that I have control over this facility, right? Oh. Damn, she's really that tall, huh? The man didn't know how it ended up like this. It was the usual tourist abducting, modifying, and selling process. As Nomad changed your management guidelines, human trafficking was banned, so were the human experiments. The man had accumulated wealth from these vile acts, and he needed to do everything to keep this operation running. Which is why he was selling this tech to those who needed it. He thought he didn't do anything bad, he just sold the technology he had. I did what I did as usual, but why now? The man wearing a state-of-the-art exoskeleton suit broke through the underground tunnel through the surface. It was his bar, which was connected to the underground base. As he struck down the thick, heavy metal hinges, lots of men followed him. They were the cyber soldiers he had created. Why me? Why me? Why now? She drank the alcohol like water and opened her eyes 4 hours earlier than expected after being drugged. The ties that could even make elephants immobile were torn apart like cheap rubber rings. The blonde Oni girl should have been a good tuskman, but she destroyed half of her cell. And because of the escaped beasts, 3 others evaded and the facility was completely taken over. How much damage is this? Damn it, it's all because of that blonde Oni. The shopkeeper kneeled on the floor and sighed deeply with frustration. But thanks to the trio, I could escape without being noticed. Now's the time to hide. He came back to retrieve the hidden stash in the shop. Things like gold bars, jewels, and others that he didn't put into his account and can be cashed out immediately. These were more important than his life. He couldn't just give it up and run away. Those thoughts had put him off guard. Actually, his luck had run out the moment he was being tracked by the trio. Hurrah! With a loud shout, that floor he was kneeling on, erupted. With it, the 300 kilograms? What the? 300 kilograms? Isn't that like 800 pounds? $300 kg. Oh, it's 661 pounds. Okay. Still, that's what the heck? That's heavy. How much is in a ton? Okay, a ton is 2,000 pounds, so 660 pounds, a little more than a quarter of a ton. Still, that's pretty heavy. What? A sharp scream came out of his mouth. He was in the air, spinning and flying. Then, crashing down. The exoskeleton managed to absorb the shock and make minimum damage, and the shopkeeper opened his eyes to a giant hole in the floor of the shop. Found ya. Yee! Francis crawled out of the hole. Honestly, the sight of a blonde woman slowly crawling out of a giant hole after destroying it was terrifying for him. Even if the woman looked beautiful like no other, everyone would have screamed like him. Ah, your crimes for toying with the girl's innocence are heavy. Francis charged without waiting for Ingrid's trio. The shopkeeper had no combat experience and his body went stiff. However, his exoskeleton suit automatically supported him to withstand Francis' heavy blow. He managed to do that, but the 300 kilogram metal suit went flying due to the shockwave. It destroyed the entrance, landing all the way outside. Because he landed on the beach, the soft sand helped him recover without any damage. There's a saying in Japan that a booze-related grudge can be dangerous. Are you ready for that? Whoa. Losing his words, he shivered in his suit, and then... Whoa! He started to run away. Get back here, you bitch. Don't you turn your back on me. Face the consequences for deceiving me. The grudge against alcohol is pretty scary. It originally had something to do with food. Besides, look at her strength and stamina, and that suit holds against it. It's probably stronger than the official UFS suit. Not probably, but actually it is. However, it would be 3 times more expensive to make one. It would be less proficient. I want to give one up to the labs. That's a no-go. It would end up being destroyed anytime now. I guess Francis gets wild whenever something gets tied up with alcohol. We should neutralize the cyborg soldiers and follow her. If it goes on, she would harm other innocent shops. Yeah, let's get this money case over with. Good luck, everyone. My AI companions killed it during the cutscene. That's funny. Please, forgive me. Huh? By the time Ingrid and the others caught up with Francis, the situation was over. Even if he had a strong exoskeleton suit over him, the man controlling it was nothing but a researcher. He quickly ran out of stamina, and after a hard beating, he was literally jammed in a metal coffin, unable to move. The joints and outer armor were dented and destroyed, so it was holding him still. Now, please stop. If we kill him, we won't get any information. I'm not going to, even if he begs for it, I'm not. Spare me, I'll do whatever, so please. Yeah. Grudges against alcohol is scary. I'm not going to be in your way if something happens related to that. You better not. Jeez, I got my vacation for nothing. She kicked the metal coffin one last time and made her distance from it. Looking at her retreat, Lydia called the officials to wrap it up. So, Francis caused the damage. She and Ingrid's group had only neutralized the cyborg soldiers and the beast. Francis was the one who destroyed the buildings. Onis are fearsome, or maybe only Francis when it comes to alcohol. Lydia's impression of the Onis was worsening unfairly, but she decided to focus on her job at hand. Now what? Whoa, look at all the damage. I didn't do anything wrong, see? He was the one who tricked me with the booze. Perhaps the blame is on Francis because she wasn't paying for her food. What are you saying? He's the one who drugged me and abducted me and tried to modify me. But still, not paying is also bad, right? Stop hitting me with facts. You don't need to feel so upset about it. Lena worried about Francis as she dropped her shoulders immediately and sulked. Smiling bitterly at the two, Ingrid approached Lydia. I handed over the cyborg soldiers. Do you think they could recover and go back to their own life? I don't know, but if they're still intact... She stopped there, and a heavy, uneasy atmosphere loomed over Ingrid and Lydia. Ingrid also stopped talking, thought through it, and tried to talk. I promise Nomad will support you with medical and cyborg tech. Is it okay for you to say that? You know this problem is deep with the UFS and Nomad. It is exactly because of that reason I don't want to cover up this situation. I want to help them go back to who they were. Why so? Are you up to something? You guessed it. Ingrid was startled at Lydia's guess, but she recovered soon enough. The situation was not my specialty, but I can assure you that the tech used in that lab was from Nomad. This I confirmed through Furfur, and it's true. Well, First was the one who leaked it, and not her. Yeah, well, if you're the one who leaked it, then you wouldn't have been saying something so naive. If you chose to be silent, then this whole fact would have been covered up. In truth, just like Lydia said, this case would have been overridden by Nomad or the UFS, and truth would have been ignored. There was much tension between the two groups, and a low spark that could become a fire. Even Lydia, who was at the bottom of the rank, thought that it would be safer to put out the spark with the fake information. So why are you suggesting this? The Nomad I know is a bit more... Lydia couldn't think of the right expression, and she stuttered. Ingrid, on the other hand, because that's the right thing to do. Told Lydia so, her chest straightened up, pride in her words and looking forward. But if she continued like this, her subordinate Lena and Lydia would be confused and troubled. She knew that, so... But what I said could be just a cover-up, and in fact I'm trying to clean this mess First made to harden my political position in Nomad. How about it? What say you? What say me, huh? The latter one is just the cover-up. Lydia knew the former one was the truth, because that's the right thing to do. That was the principle of a Hell Knight Ingrid and her belief. Lydia felt Ingrid's truthfulness come out through her and finally thought she knew something about this woman. Then, that should be okay, for now. She raised her right hand. I must have been wrong about you. I apologize for being so rude when we first met, and I would like to make this relationship better from now on, Ingrid. Huh, okay. Ingrid shook Lydia's hand, smiling at her. But why was Furfur so cooperative? Was it because of Ingrid's presence that she acted differently from what I heard before the mission? I appreciate your help this time. Thank you. That's not anything new. Not that it's anything new. After leaving Lydia, Ingrid bowed lightly toward Furfur's drone. I'm thinking you truly, without your searching capabilities and hacking, we would have gone through a lot more trouble. You already knew that I was a target for Nomad, That was First's own doing. I don't work for him, so I don't have the duty to oblige. It's not right to harm someone you helped us from the start. As Ingrid looked into Furfur's eyes, she smiled slightly, which was rare. Ah, well, you live up to your reputation. I don't know what you've heard, but where Ingrid's eyes rested, so did Furfur's. There were two people playing in the ocean, seeming to have forgotten today's happening. Lena and Francis. Thanks to your help, we could end this case early. It was your doing that my subordinate could laugh and play around. I thank you. Ingrid bowed her head once again towards Furfur's drone. I knew you were giving off a different vibe, but it seems to have been a rude assumption that you would be similar to First. I won't forget your name, Ingrid. I too want to have this relationship improved in the future. Hoo hoo, that's good news. After saying their goodbyes, Furfur closed the device which she was manipulating the drone with. Is it done? Yes, finally. Furfur smiled as she told someone and looked at the horizon in her swimsuit. Even now, Ingrid's group would be seen upon the same horizon at the other end of the earth. That made her a bit thrilled. It was a fun job. I also have this valuable prize in my hand now. She laughed while rolling the USB in her hand, while the other person smiled with discontent. Furfur's reactions were enjoyable to look at, but it was no fun having her ignore the others and only focus on her job. Even if the opponent looked with discontent, Furfur didn't care. It was usual for her to see the other smile with discontent. Oh, really now? Come now, you asked me to do it. Here you go. She tossed the USB. The other woman, Astaroth, received the memory device and put it in her pocket without any appreciation. It was normal for her to do that. Looking at the sea through the drone, and now with my own eyes, perhaps there's meaning to this. I don't know, and I don't care. You act on your instincts, personally taking care of things. But this time it was a tad different. I was able to contact both UFS and Nomad because the task force asked me to do it, but the biggest prize of all was being able to get in touch with Astaroth, Lydia, and Ingrid. Getting soaked with the joy, Furfur decided to enjoy her vacation a little more. And that is a true Demon Island Hell Knight. True Demon Island Hell Knights. Alright, okay. Whew, okay, alright. Let's see what we got. I can accept the stuff later, I think. Normal motion pretty easy. Okay. Let's see. I forgot how to add something like my auto mod in Twitch. I'm gonna do that real quick. Moderation settings. There we go. Block terms and phrases. Okay, that should be a good fix for now, hopefully. Nice. I didn't even... get a chance to activate my supporter. And just Francis just immediately ran up to the boss and bonked him and killed him. Thirsty. Yeah. Okay, alright. Alright, okay. Dragon. Alright, blow all these bad guys away. Oh yeah, this is supposed to be Francis, but you know, whatever. Holy moly, he's just like speed around the level. Dragon. Demon Sword, Demon Sword. I'm pretty sure that's a combo skill. Yeah, it's a combo skill. Section 5. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Nice. This will be pretty easy to finish. And that technically Francis isn't involved in the story at this point. He's in the background right now, but still. They just need to make Lydia playable to have this cannon. What are we doing out there? What the heck? Just walking in water. It's like Jesus. I don't think actually Taimanin said anything about the news. Let me. No, actually Taiwan didn't say anything, unfortunately. There is a surprise mission though? I think I need to do that. Let me see. Surprise mission, main quest. Oh, I think I might have missed one. Well, let's go do that real quick. Hang on.
君か、どこに行くんだ？少し休むか。さあ、号令をかけてくれ。準備はできている。
I don't really need the... I could just do normal mode. So I just do normal mode, because it's only quantity that cares about, not like hard mode. Alright, let's do this. Gotcha. Okay, alright. Once again. Okay. Let's see, how many more times do I need to do this? 36, probably 50. Yeah, 50 for a limited coin. That is worth it. So let's do it. Blade, Akatsuki. Oh yeah, no enemies. I think that's the fourth time I did this, so I need to do one more time. I think that should be enough, actually. Whew. Ow. Oh no, I'm stun locked. Okay, I was able to fix it. Okay, that should be it. Yep, that's it. Alright, so let's finish off the last two missions on this hard mode. Francis. Where are you, Francis?
このフランシスさんが一肌脱いであげちゃうか。フランシスファミリーのドン。フランシスとは私のことだ。
Hard Cat, Flame Flick, which is counter attack. Flame Flick is perfect dodge, and Onigoroshi is counter attack, counter dodge. I don't know how tall Francis is. Oh wait, no, Onigoroshi's a combo finisher. It's immediately after attack, so... Right, Onigoroshi is what she drinks, and she gets stronger. How many stacks of tipsy can you get? I forget. Final mission. Aloha cocktail. That's fine. Easy peasy. Okay, alright. Acquire. 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 Okay, so... which one should I do next? I think I should do Sold Mayhem at the auction, but that'll be another day, I think. I already did this one. That's not a big deal. Okay.
君か。おはよう。
Finish this off. I don't like the Worm Knight. 445, 900, 1300 about? Hit. That should be enough. Yep. And 250.
少し休む。どこに行くんだ？戦いが終わりか。これでおしまいね。手助けができたなら何よりよ。少し休むか。無理はするなよ。
Alright,
さあ、
okay.
号令をかけて少しどこに行くんだ？
Alright, let's do the Furfur Bond event. Because that is the CG that I use for the thumbnail today. Furfur is suppressed type. Are both versions Furfur suppress? No, I think her normal version is protect. Demon. She works as an informant in Amahara. She's been living for a long time, so she knows a lot of things. She sells her information not just to Taimanins, but politicians, demons, and etc. Her life is in danger and she's being chased by Nomad after she did something that Nomad did not like. She has the ability to control demon bugs. By boosting them slightly with magic, it isn't apparent, but she is known to be quite the specialist. Furfur was enjoying her rare summer vacation when she ended up cooperating with the UFS and Nomad to investigate a series of disappearances occurring in the resort. What a song. As the sun shined upon the clear sky, the task force members were each enjoying their time. Their vacation was finally authorized after countless delays due to the tsunami of missions they had to take care of. She sounds familiar, hang on. Tojo Hisako. Behind the voice actors... Hisako. Here we go, Hisako Tojo. I recognize this voice, I'm sure. I did not watch Rent a Girlfriend's anime. Nekopara. Shield Hero Tsugumi. Oh, I actually don't recognize most of these roles. Silly me. The sun shined upon the clear sky. The task force members reached to join the time. Oh, wait, I already read this part. Furfur, lying down under the parasol with on the white beach, was also one of the tourists enjoying her vacation.
Amahara 暮らしもそれなりに長かったつもりですけど、悪くないものですね。こういう休暇の過ごし方も。
I thought I lived long. Oh.
ああ、いいなあ、フルッチョはさ。ちっと目離した隙に天下の公務員様やってんだもんな。
Beside her, under the parasol, was another demon girl like Furfur. But
公務員かどうかはさておき、あなたもどうです？いつまでも日雇いで暮らしていけませんでしょ？
ああ、今んとこ保留かな。特務中隊だって名前合ってる？なんか喧嘩とかいっぱいさせられんでしょ。あたし痛いのとか苦しいのとかガチマジの NG だし、毎日毎日同じ時間に同じ職場行ってさ。フルッチョこそよく偉い人の言うこと聞いてられんね。
だからこそ副業はこうしてつつましくやらせていただいているのですよ。
Furfur untied the string of her beloved notebook and looked at the sentence she'd just written.
例の果実についての新たな情報を手に入れました。米連関係者からの確かな手がかりです。食した者に極上の甘露と快楽を与える一方、 その強い毒性と依存性から重度の中毒症状をもたらす文字通りの禁断の果実。
ああ、なるほどね。だから私にカマチョしてきたわけか。
Or it controls poison and possesses resistance and knowledge of various poisons. She's the best candidate as an assistant in this investigation to Furfur.
我々の界隈でも噂されていたノバド星の突然変異種。それがこの付近で計画的に栽培されているというのです。
で、草やってるような連中と喧嘩したら諸場大マージによろたーんってとこか。
よろったん。失礼。わかるようにお願いできますか？
だか
I speak in
ら
Japanese though.
タイマニンのくっそでっけえ看板使ってみかじめ料まるっとゲットするわけっしょ。
Hang on.
よろったん。失礼。わかるようにお願いできますか？
Okay, well, the translation here is not great. Let's see.
よろったん。失礼。わかるようにお願いできますか？
Shitsure, I think that's Shitsure is excuse me, I think. Shitsure. Yeah, pardon my rudeness, or excuse me.
よろったん。失礼。わかるようにお願いできますか？
But please speak English. I mean, this is technically wrong. She doesn't mention the language. She doesn't even mention Japanese. Basically, the translation would be, excuse me, but please speak in a way I can understand.
さて、そこから先は考えていません。私の目的は果実の実態の調査、そしてその効能の裏取りです。私は氷菓子でも地上げ屋でもありません。あくまで情報を切り売りしてこその情報屋ですから。そもそも魔界にも居場所がないような地上の僻地でしのぎを強いられる程度の連中です。直接ゆすりよりしかるべき場所に情報を流した方が世のため人のためというものでしょう。
はあ、フルッチョがそうするってんなら私もそうするけど。
Somewhere on the outskirts of Amahara, away from the vacation spot, just as Furfur was told, the facility that the fruit was grown in was deep in the woods, away from the public.
あれかな、きったねビニールハウス。
ロケーションとしては限りなく怪しいですね。それに周囲には真新しいタイヤの輪立ち。
ちょっとフルッチョ、あれ見てよ。
Fur was pointing to a flock of small birds writhing on the ground. Looking around, they noticed that not only the birds, but also small animals like stray cats and mice were all still lying unconscious.
専門家として何か所見をいただける？
所見も何もどう見ても例のあれを管理しきれなくて周りにおもらししちゃってる感じじゃん。その果実の毒ってのがどんなのかは知んないけど、食べたらそっから他の人なり動物なりに毒が移るってなると、場合によっちゃちょっとこりゃまずいんでね。
いつぞやのコートララの二の舞ということですか？だとすれば生物災害対策に躍起になっている5社、ひいてはベーレン相手にも高く売り込めるか。立場上放っておくわけにもいかないでしょうけど。
何フルッチョ、どうするか決めた
？She calculated the best outcome she could have. Furfur made up her mind as she stepped into the mysterious greenhouse.
マジで入んの？待ってってば。
As she opened the small door, her sight suddenly dimmed, and soon, bright lights started flashing.
すごい匂い。
A powerful sweet scent tickled her nose. When the scent covered her entire body through her lungs, Furfur was already on the ground, limp.
まさかここまでひどいなんて。甘く見積もりすぎましたか？体が言うことを聞いてくれない。
A warm, soft feeling spread out through her from her chest. It was as if she was taking a good rest after a hot, warm bath, or the dreamy moment just before falling asleep.
これが毒というよりこれは麻酔。これが毒というよりこれは麻酔。これが毒というよりこれは麻酔。
Hang on.
これが毒というよりこれは麻酔。これが毒というよりこれは麻酔。
No, that's not, I'm not feeling it.
これが毒というよりこれは麻酔。
This translation's not good, so.
毒というよりこれは麻酔。
So, korewa doku, this is poison, so that's correct.
これが毒というよりこれは麻酔。
Yuyori? Is it Yuyori? Is that correct? I don't think so. Yuyori. No, that's not correct.
これが
Korewa godoku?
毒というよりこれは麻酔。これが
Doku?
毒というよりこれは麻酔。
Yuyori? Doku.
毒というよりこれは麻酔。
Okay. So, from what I'm hearing, she's saying これが毒ていうよりこれがまずい. So, this second part is wrong. It would be more of this is poison, more poisonous than normal. This is bad. That'd be a more accurate translation. Furfur looked around the house, trying to keep her limbs from going limp. The soil, which should have been abandoned for a long time, was full of green life. A creepy, colorful flower with fruits were all around the place like a carpet.
それに辺りに転がっている実、これがきっと例の果実。
And in the deepest corners of the house was a plant. No, a demon familiar with the residents of the demon realm.
あれは魔界のザックーム。この温暖な雨原で定着しているなんて。だからこその突然変異種ということか。魔族の私を混沌させるほどの神経毒、いえ激毒を持つまでに変異した個体。
フルッチョねえ生きてる？本当に大丈夫？
Perry showed up from the door, not knowing Furfur's thoughts.
うわすごくっそー。よくもまあここまでほったらかしにしたな。
警戒してください。強力な毒には違いありません。いかにあなたとはいえ長いは危険かと。
そうそう、そこらの毒なんかよりずっと立ち悪いよね、アルコールってさ。
は？え？アルコール？
天然発酵のエタノールって言えばいいかな。熟れすぎちゃったリンゴとかヤシの実の糖分がグツグツグツグツ発酵して、
This is a weird cut off here.
うまいこと腐ったりしないでいい感じの匂いと味になったのがここに並んでるようなやつだと思うんだけど。
Perry reached out inside a wooden box piled up in the corner. There were glass bottles inside.
甘原濃厚魔草リキュール、天然猿酒風フルーツソース。もう魔族のしのぎにしちゃ堅実じゃんね。大方この子らの急成長っぷりについてけなくなってほったらかしてどんずらこいたってとこかな。
じゃあ何？ベーレンはこんなものを探すのにエージェントまで送り込んだというの？
まあ見たとこそんな感じっしょ。その辺に転がってる実なんかも。
Perry picked up a mutated Zakum fruit and took off her mask to take a bite out of it.
うひゃー、度数高いな。ぶっちゃけそのまんま食べるんはなしよりのなし。この分だと表でひっくり返ってた犬だの猫だの鳥さんだのは酔っ払って寝てただけっぽいね。激ヤバな毒ってわけじゃ全然なし。多分あのお酒とかソースとかも普通に美味しくできてんじゃね。
しかしあのザクーム自体は魔界に自生している原種とは明らかに一線を画しています。ベーレンが追うに値するような極秘の生物兵器には違いないでしょう。
そうなん？酔っ払ってぶっ倒れたフルッチョ見てあんな縮こまっちゃってるようなのがこれじゃ戦場に放り込んだって 兵隊を千鳥足にするくらいにしか使えないじゃんね。
Sakuma was wriggling and threatening them, but it seemed to have no intention of hurting them first.
おうおう、怖がらんでいいよ。別に私らあんたをからしに来たわけじゃなし。
Sakuma calmed down easily at Parrot's words. Feeling a strange sense of relaxation and boredom, Furfur bit her lips at her pathetic actions.
以上が事の顛末です。ええ、はい。できれば指定の座標に応援をお願いできましたら。
With her head still spinning, Furfur reached out to HQ with the device in her hands. According to the operator, the mutated Zakun will be protected in Gosha's research facility.
まぶたが重いです。
まだ酔っ払ってんの？もうすぐコタピたち来てくれんでしょ。ほら、頑張れ頑張れ。寝るな寝るな。
情報屋を名乗っておきながら先入観に飲まれてこんな醜態を晒すなんて。
Oh, I see. Wait, what is that in there? What the heck? You know, let me fix this. I'll just put it back down here. I need to figure something out.
んな大げさな。お酒に飲まれただけっしょ。ウルッチョ、意外に下戸だったりするん？
口惜しい。返す言葉もありません。
So that's the mystery of the fruit the UFS are chasing. Because of Amahar's warm weather, Furfur, now all relaxed, soon passed out. Okay, alright. I'm a bit tired, and I've done everything that I wanted to do at least, so I'm going to call the stream here. And then, let's see. Who can I raid? Who can I raid? I think Otaku might be streaming. Is she still streaming? She is. Alright, you're going to Otaku. Alright, good night everyone. Tomorrow is more Bloodstained.